Hi, I'm Bridget Baker, and on this occasion in London at the end of September, Doula UK are hosting the annual meeting of the European Doula Network, the EDN. And we've got some burning issues that we'd like to talk about in Doula UK. And I know that Debra, who is going to talk with me, has some ideas too, because we've already had a chat about them. So I've been a doula for 43, 44 years, and I'm currently chair of Doula UK and head of education and mentoring. Debra, over to you.
Aw, thanks so much, Bridget. It's so great to be here with you and all the doulas of the UK and the EDN. And my name is Debra Pascali Bonaro, and I've been a doula for 30 years, and that seemed like a long time till you did your intro. And I am with Dona International. I'm one of their doula trainers and have really been blessed to see doulas as you have just kind of flourishing all around the world and been a part of many different trainings and programs globally. So it's great to have a discussion with you about our growth and what that means and some of the burning issues.
Well, the biggest burning issue for us is the joke, really, whether we are doulas or whether we are beelers, because we talk a lot about being and not doing very much. And we wanted to examine in the workshop that follows, we wanted to examine some of the ideas that we've been noticing, some of the things that are happening. Are we still being, or are we doing possibly too much? Um, yeah, I have some really strong feelings about that, but I want to hear what yours are because I'll be at the meeting.
Well, I think that's such an important question. And as I kind of orient new doulas, it's one of the first things I do is talk about to them because I so wish that we were called Beelas because the word doula begins with do, right? Which is quite interesting how language plays into it. And if we go back and you and I think to our roots, before doulas were really to the extent that they are today, with so much organization and training behind them, all of us began really being. It was really
Yes.
a heartfelt connection of being present. We were invited as other women, often as educators, right, to come to the birth with them. And so many of my early births, sometimes we're literally sitting in the corner. Like I remember knitting. I remember people saying, will you take a few pictures? And I wasn't even a good camera person, but I'd not want to disturb them. So I'd hold that camera. And after the birth, they would thank me profoundly. And all I did was sit in the corner and they would say, I couldn't have done it without you. And I'd say, I did nothing. You did everything. And the
Mm.
response was, your presence, your smile, your nod let us know that we were doing good. And that's all we needed was someone to hold that space and believe in us, and we could do it. And so, like you say, I think we all began as Beelas. And as we formalized more and more, there's this sense that I don't want to call it professionalization because I wouldn't want doula to be a profession, but we've
Mm.
reached a standard where we feel we need more training and more hurdles, and we're bringing people into that neocortex, into their mind. And I do worry that as we charge fees, and some doulas quite hefty fees, that there's a sense that if I'm going to earn this, if I'm going to be in this role, then I have to have measurable outcomes, which are doing. And as you say, the more we do, I think the more we may be taking away from the intuition of our own and the woman. And I call us another drug. I think we're like an induction. In the US, we call synthetic oxytocin Pitocin. And I say here, be careful that you're not doula Pitocin or doula oxytocin,
Mm.
replacing her intuition and her wisdom with yours, and you become the drug.
Absolutely, and I often hear young new doulas say, "I do really feel that I have to be seen to be doing something, otherwise I'm not worth what I'm being paid," which is a difficult one to answer. But as you say, being in the corner, uh, changing the world, knitting is the way to go. Um, You
Totally.
said to me a few years ago when I was querying the idea of how long training should take. We don't call it training where we can, anyway. In Britain, we try and say preparation. And that's still an issue, I think. There is no very good evidence to show that how much we are trained, that it makes us any better. And maybe it makes us worse. What do you think?
I'm really worried about that because if we go back to the research, which I love to really ground us, that, the doula is an evidence base. We all know the Cochrane database and how effective we are. But if we look at all those early studies, they were all done with a community woman who literally had a 4-hour orientation. And she was really told what we learned from Wendy, kind of our first doula, that helped us rediscover that role of female companionship through Dr. Marshall Klaus and Dr. John Kennel. And what Wendy did that was reported was smile, hold a hand, occasionally rub the woman's hair, and tell her she was beautiful and strong and give encouraging, empowering words. And so as they replicated what they rediscovered with Wendy, these 4-hour orientations were all about that. How do you connect and support and love and nurture a woman in these simple ways? And I do worry, my heart kind of cringes when I hear of doula orientations that go 9 months, a year, and have tests or exams or measure what's in the head, when really I think what we want to open up, and that's hard to measure, is what's in the heart and our intuition. So I am really worried on that level that we are creating the doing by our orientation. And the second level to it, I'm in the US where doulas are beginning to be a part of the healthcare system. And we're seeing reimbursement in 2 of our states. And I believe many more will come in the next few years, including, I think, will nationally be recognized. And when you think of how many doulas, or maybe belas, we will need to meet the need of women that would choose to have one, and not everybody will, but let's even say 50% of American women would. That would be 2 million births a year. If the path to becoming a doula is so long, it would take us forever to reach there, when really
Yeah.
we know that we could put all our grandmothers in the corner knitting for continuous support, and we would make a difference. So I look at the balance between what my heart and my intuition says we should be, and then look at how will we meet this growing need. And I think they line up in that less is more.
Well, I think it's given us a nice start to the rest of our afternoon. And we're really sorry you're not here.
Me too.
It would be lovely. It would be lovely to have you. And it's great that you've given us your time to share a few ideas. Thank you so much, Debra.
Well, thank you so much, Bridget, and to all of the doulas there and the doulas that can attend but might see this later. Big heartfelt hugs and love to all of you. It's such a blessing to be on this path together, and in this case, to have technology that can keep us connected.
Absolutely. It's brilliant. Okay.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.